Hey, crypto media friends. Back with a little overtime on top of the overtime. I wanted to quickly talk about something that's way in the future while I'm experimenting with cameras and audio and stuff. So bear with me. But it's something I've been following for a long time. I'm a fan of the Polkadot network. I think it's really got a lot of potential. Obviously, I think if you look into the space. Do your own research and your own diligence into the different chains that exist and why they exist and what opportunities they have. I think there's a lot of talk about Cardano, and everyone's talking Cardano to the moon, because if you look at the price point, $1, $2, it seems like, oh yeah, if I buy it $1 or $2, and then if it just catches up with Ethereum, it's a bit 3,000, so 3,000x my investment. And if you look beyond sort of the market of what things look like in terms of the pricing, and certainly there's a lot of people who are hyping up that project because they have a lot invested in it, and a lot of those are centric to YouTube and centric to the owners. He has a platform on YouTube, and so he's able to through this, they all kind of know each other. I think and I think we're all gonna soon enough. More and more as we open up and have the ability to go network with each other and go to conventions, and got a lot of messages popping in here. We're gonna have more of an opportunity, and so just to talk about things a bit on the outside, I wanted to try and come up with this. So this is more of a way further on down the line, as we talk about metaverses and how to connect the NFT world to the metaverse, and how it's going to be super simple, because you're going to have great projects, like Animatas, Vogu, what have you. I feel like I talk only about them because I own them, and I'm so part of those communities. But that's the thing, is like they have such a strong community associated to them that you get the ideas as these other metaverses are just like, oh hey, like Crypto Cities is like, oh, come on and play in our metaverse and bring your community. And so that's what they're going to want. They're going to want the communities to be brought in to their platforms. And I think one of the great ones on the horizon is Bit.Country. And so Bit.Country I've been tracking really for months and months and months, just as soon as it came out almost, because I got a sense that they understood something about the metaverse that Mark Zuckerberg probably is dreaming about, and that's the idea that this is the future of social. This is the future of how people are going to act, how brands will react. If you've been in Decentraland, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go YouTube some videos, and you kind of see how you have your avatar running around. You can take out your avatar and like whatever you want. That's the thing. You can own land. You can build stuff. You can build and then you're gonna hang stuff on the walls of your thing that you built, and those are gonna be NFTs that you own, because you want to be like, oh, come on over to my place and look at the interesting things I have on my wall that I've collected. And so your collectibles are going to be there, present in this thing. And so as you're running between your house and your friend's house, which happens to be next to a gallery where you potentially buy some more NFTs, there's going to be a butt ton of brands that you've probably seen, again, if you've seen this. And so given how you want those collections to be present within the metaverse, by bringing those audiences to the metaverse, Bit.Country offers an interesting thing. You can create your own section of the city potentially. They're still working things out. I think that's ostensibly how it's going to work. I don't know if you're going to have your own land, your own sort of not Roblox. What's the other one? But it's just very almost your own world. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's more sort of sections of it. But it seems it's very egalitarian in that it's very focused on community, giving that community a voice within topography and availability of space, and then having its own decks. And so trying to help these creators of NFTs, of intellectual property, like many of you are, who create things to then bring them into the NFT space, to open it up to fans, to collect those fans, into having a token that can give them access. You want to give them access to certain things in the metaverse, and this is one of these projects that seems to accommodate that. And so you'll be able to bring or people to Bit.Country, and have when you do have a system set up of ability to stake within your NFT, ability to utilize your NFT in different ways financially, as well as socially. And so this is the big experiment, and it's taking shape. It's not, Bit.Country hasn't really released too much in terms of how it's looking, but I think the concepts are there. Each block is a topic of content. People can easily visit neighborhood blocks while within a block, so placing related topics next to each other is favorable. So again, they're trying to give topography and connect it to socialization through whether that's a topic, so that if I'm really into crypto kitties, Zrun might ostensibly have a Zrun community near theirs, something that had a breeding aspect to it, or an Axie infinity aspect, something that had topical strings, as we call them in literature. And so you would have communities based upon that. So if you could potentially bring your animatus, and it was going to be next to maybe some sort of Japanese style anime or Funko Pop, just like would probably buy a mega land space, near something like that, because my gosh, all those fans are going to want to be there. And so it's going to be interesting in terms of hopefully allowing the creators of these spaces to allow those advertisers that they want, they're going to pay them a very nice sum to be near and advertise to their followers. And so they're working on ways of incentivizing, because there's so much going on with DeFi right now, to make your own currency, to be able to stake that currency, with Ethereum, with Polkadot, with Dot, with the Polkadot network, or Kusama, which is their test network, which has gone active a couple months ago. And I've certainly have staked projects on the Kusama network, which is a bit of a long-term staking play where it's not very liquid. You stake it, and they plan to give you a certain APY, based on sort of they think the project's going to do well, and then it's a competition based on bids of who can generate the most community interest, because you have to stake being the representation of community interest. And so when you have that power of community interest combined with the skin in the game, if you will, of money, of people putting their hard-won Ethereum into this project, or sorry, I keep saying Ethereum, but hard-earned crypto, because I'm so used to dealing with Ethereum in the NFT space. It's just kind of natural, but I think other chains are starting to. Polygon is going to make a huge run. As you saw. Just been on the boards, talking to other creators, and Polygon is making a very aggressive bid to be, the network that you drop on next, instead of doing these avatar projects on Ethereum and facing gas wars and these inflated economies, as we're watching with Onis and saw with Junkyard Dogs, that it was like, oh yeah, it's 0.5 ETH. Wow, I minted at 0.7, and I can sell at 0.5. Well, that's just barely covering your gas. That's barely covering your transactions fees on the way to the marketplace, and that is, it's a lot to pay. And so, if you're on other networks, it's so different. It's so weird to do, a DeFi on, the Atom network that has those really two great dexes, Blanking on the one that I really like, but if you have like a Kosh and you have Atom and you stake, you're getting like 300 some percent APY at the moment because it's just like they're really trying to be aggressive about growing their DEX, and but when you use it, it's simple and it's like, I don't know, Uniswap has kind of gone a bit sort of day tradery and got very technical, especially with the V3. If you guys are following the sort of the V2 to the V3, the V3 has great aspects in like how to control your ability to provide liquidity and within price ranges, but that gets into like this sort of thing where it's just like, again, it sort of feels day trader, whereas the one for Atom is very brainless in a sense. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. I understand people would want to get into these projects because I love Akash. I love some of the other projects on there that are very strong, and so what they've done by doing their way, as we're talking about other chains, Atom has created Cosmo is the chain has created the current sort of almost holy grail of like cross-chain interoperability. Oh my gosh, one day Cardano is going to trade with Ethereum, is going to trade with Tezos, and it's just like, wow, what a future we have. It's already here. Cosmo has done it. That's their system, is having individual chains so that these projects can live specifically on one chain and play with it and utilize it to its fullest advantage without clogging up a network. So you wouldn't have the impact of an NFT drop on your DeFi that you're trying to get done, in the middle of a New York, work day. It's like where you got West Coast, waking up, and you got Europe still up, and they're trading. This crazy NFT drop, causes gas fees of $2,000. That's across the entire network. That's so you just like, you're stuck. You're like, okay, I got to wait this out for 15 minutes. That's kind of a drag. And so, having the individual chains is what the Cosmo network is about. And so it currently has operating dexes that are cross-chain interoperable, so you can swap between them, and it's it's kind of a great peek into the future. And so I think a lot of the forward-thinking things are on these other chains, and so that's why I'm keeping an eye out there and keeping an eye out on Polkadot, where there's just a lot of great projects, and they want to be very vocal because they know at a certain point they have to get onto the testnet, onto Kusama, and then they have to sort of graduate from Kusama into Polkadot proper. And so in that phase, they're forcing, the system of Polkadot is forcing them to develop a community, because that community has to stake coins in order to get their coins, stake dot, in order to get their coins, and provide liquidity, and so that the project has enough funds and enough of a community to push forward. And so here you have a project like that is headed for social network in the metaverse, which is so powerful. And I think they have the right ideas here of how to place, like in Decentraland, you have sort of people, vying for certain areas, like Las Vegas to be present in certain areas and, be next to, Louis Vuitton or something. It's just like having these things. But, what if, you can structure that based upon voting to some degree of the community, and also topically to say like, hey, this is who I might like as my neighbor. Is it elitist? Maybe. But I think it's a very powerful way of creating community between projects, and powerful stuff. And so this is one of those that's setting it up. Go do your own due diligence. Great thing is you can't even you can't even like ape into this because it doesn't exist yet. This isn't a coin that you can go grab yet, because They're gonna have to go into the testnet. When they do, I'm definitely gonna be covering this, and I'll be staking this project for sure as it goes into the Kusama testnet, and I'll take you guys with me as we go. But check it out. They have an ambassador program. They're just trying to find their footing on how they want to approach community building, because they know that as part of Polkadot, you have to develop community, and for something that its end product is community. It's kind of exciting and to see it go through its paces. And so this was just a quick little drop in on Bit.Country, and hopefully you'll see this in 2 years and be like, oh well, yeah, of course this is like the thing, and it's super amazing now. And there's a big scandal of something that happened in there because of just how huge it got. But there's gonna be other projects like this, but I think that this is really forward-looking and something to keep an eye on. All right, guys, thanks for bearing with me as I do the overtime on top of the overtime, and look at something very forward-looking that's not going to quite make you Lucci now unless you're invested into DOT. It's not a bad time. No financial advice here, but certainly the dip was a great time to stack up on some DOT, and if you wanted to participate financially within these, having some Kusama, which is an expensive coin, but the Kusama will allow you to get in on these projects super early, and the APY and the sort of the rewards they offer you are there, because you're part of that community that's gonna push them into existence onto that network. And so it's a great way to put your money where your mouth is, in a sense, if you really believe in a project. But you will have to stake it for 6 months at a time. I think they do about 3 cycles of that before renewing. And so it's a continual process. And so it's something that is a very exciting aspect into how Polkadot is developing their network. And so something to keep an eye on. Thanks, guys.